talk with women of color in my own life, they'll say, wow, that Elizabeth Warren has great plans. She's got specific plans. She's got great ideas. But there's a fear in a lot of people of color and a lot of women of color that say, after the experience of 2016, they don't have the confidence in the electorate of this country to elect a woman president. They want to vote one way, but their fear says that they may need to flee to the safety of a white male candidate. How do you address?
I think that's called side-eye.
I'm just telling you, how do you address people who are not confident? They're not confident the country is willing to elect a woman. How do you address people who may be interested in voting for you, but may be afraid?
So, let me just say this about confidence. You bet. Look, this is the heart of it. It's how are we going to fight? Not just individually, but how are we going to fight together? Are we going to fight because we're afraid? Are we going to show up for people that we didn't actually believe in, but because we were too afraid to do anything else? That's not who we are. That's not how we're going to do this. Here's how I see this. I'll tell you how I see it. We got a room full of people here who weren't given anything. We got a room full of people here who had to fight for what they believe in. People here who had to reach down deep, and no matter how hard it was, no matter how scary it looked, they found what they needed to find, and they brought it up, and they took care of the people they loved. They fought the fights they believe in. That's how they got into these seats today. You know, this is how I see it from where I sit. I was in middle school when it's just my mama and my daddy and me. The boys are gone. My 3 older brothers, they've all gone off to the military. My daddy has a heart attack. Everybody thinks he's going to die. He comes back home. He can't work. My mother has never worked outside the home. We lose our family station wagon. My mother is terrified. I hear her at night. I hear her cry. I learn words like mortgage and foreclosure from my parents late at night while I'm supposed to be asleep. And I do remember the day I walk into their bedroom. I'm just a kid, and I see the dress laid out on the bed. You all know the dress. The one that only comes out for weddings, funerals, and graduations. And my mother's standing there in her slip and her stocking feet, and she's crying, and she's pacing, and she's saying, we will not lose this house. We will not lose this house. We will not lose this house. She was 50 years old, and she had never worked outside the home, and she was terrified. I watched her face while she looked at that dress, and she looked at me, and she looked back at that dress, and finally she reached over and she pulled that dress on. She blew her nose, she put on her high heels, she walked to the Sears, and she got a minimum wage job answering the phones. The minimum wage job saved our home, and it saved our family. Now, let me just say about this. That day, my mama taught me 3 lessons. It took me a while to learn them. But the first one was, it doesn't make any difference how scary it looks, how hard it is out there. You reach down, you find what you have to find, you pull it up, and you take care of the people you love. I learned over time, that wasn't just what my mama taught me. It's what millions of people across this country have taught their daughters and their sons through the years. You do what has to be done to take care of the people you love. But the third thing I learned eventually about that story is it's a story about government and how no matter how hard you work, the rules that are made by the people in government will still make the big difference in your life. Because when I was a girl, a full-time minimum wage job in America would support a family of 3. It would pay a mortgage, it would cover the utilities, and it would cover food. Today, a minimum wage job in America will not keep a mama and a baby out of poverty. That is wrong. It is worth fighting for, and it's why we're all going to stay in this.
Senator Elizabeth Warren!
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.